Is it possible to turn these grains of rice into a kitchen knife, one sharp enough to cut paper? Normally, every knife is made of steel. But today, I'm breaking the rule and making one entirely out of rice. Then I'll test if it can cut cucumbers, fruits, and even paper.
Rice is a very familiar food to Asians, once processed and cooked to become soft, sticky, and fragrant, but here's the twist. Uncooked rice has a moderate hardness. I first tried gluing the grains together with super glue. However, it was too fragile and kept breaking, so I changed my strategy. I folded some parchment paper into a rectangular tray shape, poured raw rice into a blender, and ground it into fine powder. I spread the first layer of rice powder onto the tray, then added super glue. It still wasn't thick enough, so I ground more rice for a second layer, and then a third layer. Finally, a rice sheet reinforced with glue. The next step was to draw the shape of a knife on the sheet. Since I only had a drill, I used it to cut along the outline. Quite difficult. When I tried to separate it with pliers, the handle snapped right off. Luckily, I had super glue to stick it back together. I then used sandpaper to smooth out all the edges.
I switched to a finer sandpaper in order to start shaping the blade.
Next, I kept sharpening the blade using 600 grit sandpaper, and to finish it off, I used 1200 grit. For the handle, I poured hot glue over one side and pressed in some rice grains. Then repeated for the other side, and a knife made entirely from rice grains.
Now it's time to test it on a cucumber.
It could cut, but not very evenly, so I'll switch to trying it on paper instead. After a few tries, it doesn't seem as sharp as a real knife, but at least it can slice this apple in half.
Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and thanks for watching.